All right, Salaki, there was a disturbance in the video, had to get cut off, right? But this Jeremiah 7:28, it says, "But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their God, nor receiveth correction. The truth is perished, and it is cut off from their mouth." Whoo. And man, you know, the same is it's the same thing today. If not even worse. All right, Jake refuses to be corrected. All right, so the only way, the only way that Jake can be corrected is through the judgment that the Lord has in store for our people, right? And our people's gonna get hit with famine, pestilence, the sword. All right, the missiles. All right, so our people's gonna get hit, in all type of ways, man. This is 1 Peter 4:17. It says, "For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh?" Yeah. Because we coming into a time of Jacob's trouble, which is a tribulation period, which is mainly, to judge our people. All right. And the heathen, started with Esau, right? They gonna get their judgment, but it's gonna start with you Jakes first, man. You see? It's the book of Isaiah 10:5. It says, "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation," right? And pretty much, you could say that in a way that the modern day Assyrian is the Edomite, right? Because the Edomites, are currently in rulership, and the Edomites is who the Lord is going to use, as a whipping stick, towards the rebellious, the rebellious 2/3 multitude of our people, man. All right. And the people, and they don't see it that way, and it's gonna come a certain time where our people gonna know that we was out there preaching the truth, that we were the prophets, but at that point it's gonna be too late, man. They already dug their own grave, so to speak. So this is Psalm 17:13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." And Esau, he's known as Esau, his he's known for his sword, right? That was his blessing that he was given, to rule by the sword. All right. He's definitely, about to use it on Jake. All right, because we're coming into the time of martial law. We're coming into the time of Esau coming with that great wrath. Esau pushing that NWO, right? Which is to get everybody C-hip, fully in control, right? So pretty much, those are the times that we coming in, and if you ain't right, hey, and if you ain't right, you're gonna get caught up in that judgment, That's why it's important to be circumspect. All right, do what we can, laboring in this faith, so we can be deemed worthy of salvation, because that's what this thing is all about, man. That's the reward that we strive for. All right. But that'll do with the lesson. So Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that, give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Rakak Wadash. So one.